Unlike Makuru, in rural Sri Lanka, systems of water management are 2,500 years old, but demand is growing.
Sri Lanka is a country which has adequate rainfall. I mean, our average rainfall is about 2,000 millimeters. But the problem with us is we have a very strong spatial and temporal distribution, which makes certain parts of the country drier than the others. And Hambantota especially is one of those areas which has very dry climate, and therefore it is categorized as semi-arid.
SecureWater research has focused on 2 villages in Hambantota district. Livelihoods here mainly revolve around paddy cultivation. People also grow vegetables and some keep livestock. These activities each represent competing demands for water. Nanda K. Patirana is the head of Belegswewa village.
In this village, there are no proper water sources, especially in the drought season, so people face drinking water problems every year.
Indika Zedevaratna lives in Belegswewa with her family. Her husband works as an agricultural labourer, leaving Indika to run the house. Water collection takes up much of her day.
Usually I go 5 times a day to collect some water, twice in the morning and 3 times in the afternoon. Each time I bring home about 15 litres of water. When I go to get water, I have to take my little daughter with me, because there is no one to look after her in my house. There are 130 families in this village, but only 2 wells, and the availability of water in the wells depends on the quantity of the water in the irrigation tanks.
Drinking water availability depends largely on effective management of these irrigation tanks. Small tank rehabilitation has been a focus of recent emergency drought relief efforts.
In July and August, the wells go dry. During this time, we have to take bowser water. The government water bowser comes here twice a week, and a family gets about 70 litres each time.
Providing drinking water from a bowser is costly, time-consuming and inefficient. But these water tankers have become a regular feature of daily life in Hambantota. Many people have come to rely on them, but they only represent a partial solution. Neighbouring Katimwewa village comes under the 3rd Asian Development Bank Water Supply and Sanitation Project.
The aim is the project is improve the living condition of about 200,000 people living in Hambantota district. Under this project, we are providing only drinking water, not irrigation water. In our system, we are provide several options. We provide pipe-borne water, dug wells, hand pumps with tube wells, and rainwater. Every option is selected by the community.
The community in Katimwewa has opted for the most expensive option, a piped water scheme. Each household is required to pay an initial contribution to the costs of installation, plus regular monthly payments to cover operation and maintenance.
The community have to pay at least 20% contribution, 20% of the total project cost as their community contribution. But the varying of the service level, such as complicated pipe scheme, sometimes the contribution may be come up to 50%.
While project partner organisations are engaged in building the capacity of the community to maintain and manage the scheme, ensuring long-term financial sustainability remains a concern.
What we have to recognize is when giving water supply and managed by the communities should have the ability to pay for these systems. Because government in future is not going to give everything free. Now this is a kind of policy decision taken by the government of Sri Lanka. For the moment, what we have done, the policy of the Sri Lanka government is operation and maintenance costs will be collected from the communities, and communities have been willingly paying this. But there are situations where communities cannot afford to pay this.
There are important questions surrounding the affordability of new schemes for households within communities. Although communities may be willing to pay for new services, Actual capacity to pay may vary widely between households, especially in times of drought.
But one thing that we have to understand is, for development of livelihoods, the water is not the only crucial issue or the crucial input. There are so many other inputs that has to go in for the development of a successful livelihood.